got every rider from broken hearts to broken heads and everything in between. There is no such thing as hippotherapy as like a hippotherapist or something like that. The occupational therapist will use a horse as medium during their therapy sessions. The speech therapist will use a horse for the speech sessions.
Hippo is the Greek word for horse, and therapy is therapy. Basically, hippotherapy uses the horse's movement as a therapy tool, same as like a ball would in a clinical setting. And the horse's motion, their walk is the same as a person, so it helps people to walk. And hippotherapy is done with a licensed therapist, whether it be an occupational therapist, a speech therapist, or a physical therapist. All the lessons are tailored to the individual child. The benefits of hippotherapy are all across the board. There's everything from increased balance, coordination, core strength is a huge one. We have kids that can barely sit up or hold their head steady when they start riding, and by the end they're able to keep their head up and sit up for a half-hour session. Not only do they have the horse's physical movement helping them, but they have the bond with the horse, their therapist, as well as the sidewalkers and the other people that interact. Their horse becomes one of their best friends.
The children don't realize they're getting therapy. To them, they're riding a pony, and I like doing the backdoor approach, it's called, whereas the child is having fun, and then I direct their attention and focus to what I'm targeting in my therapy sessions. And the whole therapy session is more fun, and the child doesn't even realize that they're getting speech therapy. Oftentimes we'll have parents say that the children are so tired of therapy they can't get them to go, they have temper tantrums, but they never resist coming to the barn to do their therapy at the barn. I have the child riding a horse, and that movement helps to organize the central nervous system, and it helps with cognition. What about the red ones?
One of the reasons that we do a lot of, in occupational therapy anyway, we do a lot of hand activities because the hands are so integral in everything that we do every day. So for a child, for example, the more planned effort of dressing themselves is more difficult, and there's a certain amount of hand strength that's necessary to actually hold on to the pants and pull them up, to put on a shoe and to pull that shoe with your hands while you're slipping your foot in. And there's a lot of complexity to the things that many of us take for granted every day. I think that the healing that we see among family members where they have a young child who may be fairly severely impaired suddenly can get up on a 1,000-pound animal and be independent and participate in a recreational activity that they never thought would be possible. And I've seen that happen in several different cases that I've had. Little miracles where a child who really isn't paying any attention to their environment, when mom and dad hold him, he's really not paying too much attention to them. And this was about a year ago, and just recently during a lesson he said "Dada," and that was so exciting. And of course Dad, we had to make sure we stopped and talked to Dad, and it was just a really breakthrough for this child to not only say those words, but to have that joint attention with the person that he loves. And again, that's, I think, through all the therapy that he's had and the horses.
My daughter's name is Cameron. She's just shy of 3 years old. She has a genetic disorder called Rett syndrome, which basically takes her away her ability to walk, talk, and use her hands purposefully. A lot, both physically and mentally or emotionally. It improves her core strength quite a bit, which hopefully is one of the keys to walking someday for her. And emotionally and mentally, she loves being here. So we get in the car to come here and she smiles, and when we pull up, she smiles. And she can't talk, so we know it's one of the things she really loves to do.
I think the horse has a spirit that encompasses all our riders, that they get a bond with the horse, and they feel very safe with their sidewalkers and their instructors, but they trust their horses to a great deal also.
Is that your gun? Hey.